guys, if you're here, that means you got the last problem wrong. So we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing decimals. Now, multiplying decimals, you still need to remember the rules, because if you notice some of these examples, I threw negatives at you. So remember, if your signs are the same, your answer is going to be positive. But if your signs are different, then that means your answer is going to be negative. So let's look at this example here. My signs are different, so that means my answer is going to be a negative answer. I'm just doing a box with a negative sign in front of it, so that way I don't forget to put my negative with me later. And if I've been able to figure that out, that this answer is going to be negative, I now know to eliminate any positive answers. Now, since these are decimals, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite them. And I'm going to line up my decimal, my number with the last digit, because lining up decimals doesn't matter here. Now I'm going to do 6 times 2, which is 12, 6, 7, 18. Now I'm going to cross out that 6, because that tells me I need to put a 0. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, and 6. So I'm going to 2 plus 0 is 2, that gets me 11, 8, 9, 10, 11. 6, 7, 8. Now that I've done this, I'm going to move my decimals. I have 3 loops, so that means I need to go in 3 loops. So I have 8.112. 8.112 is my answer, and since I wrote the negative, I remember to bring it with me. You might have gotten this problem wrong on the last example because you forgot about the negative, so make sure you're aware of that. On your test tomorrow, you'll have decimals with positives and negatives on there. Let's do some examples since we need some practice. I would look at this one, negative 4.4 and negative 2.2. My signs are the same, so that means my answer is going to be positive. So I'm going to go ahead and box my answer like this without a negative sign, so I know that these are positive. Then I'm going to do 4.4 divided by 2.2. Now, when you divide decimals, you need to move the decimal over twice. No, not over twice, over to make it a whole number. And then you move this in here the same amount of times. So now this is 44 divided by 22. Take that decimal, raise it to the roof. 22 can't go into 4, but 22 can go into 44 twice. 22 times 2 is 44. 44 minus 44 is 0. So my answer was just regular old 2. Now let's look at this one. My signs are both negative. If we have the same sign, it's positive. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and put a box without a negative so I know that this answer is going to be positive. All right, 1.8 times 1.2. Line up your numbers to the last digit. 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. I'm going to cross out that 2, so I know to put a 0 there. 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 1 is 1. Then I'm going to add these up. It's going to give me 6, 9, 10, 11, and then 2. But after I've done that, I need to make sure to remember to put my decimals. They move out twice, so I'm going to move it in twice. So my answer is going to be 2.16. Let's look at this one now. I have negative 4.2 divided by 0.7. One's negative, one's positive. My signs are different, so my answer is going to be negative. Now, if you're here and you go, well, I don't really know how to divide these, but you're able to figure out that the answer is negative, go eliminate some answer choices and go eliminate all those positive ones. And then you should usually have a 50-50 chance now. I'm going to take that 4.2. It goes in the house because it's the cowboy. And then I'm going to take that 0.7. We need to move our decimal over once to make it a whole number and move it once again. Bring it to the roof. 7 can't go into 4, but 7 can go into 42 6 times. 7 times 6 is 42. Gives me 0. My answer is negative 6. And I remembered the negative because I wrote it there initially. Go work out some of these other example problems below, and see if you're getting better at this. And make sure to answer the question on how or what you could have done differently to have been successful on these problems.